the really key person I was hoping could be here.
Yes, I don't know because a couple of days that I don't hear. I've not heard from Gary. I don't know. Maybe he's having some troubles or is busy in some way. Also, he didn't reply to one WhatsApp message. Therefore, I don't know. Maybe he could be very much busy. For some reasons.
Well, I guess we can have a fairly short meeting. The one issue that arose is that you were casting some doubt on the December 2nd Zoom-based meeting. I've talked to Jim, and maybe we can get Tom's input, but I think that's a key launching pad for the initiative, and we both think we should go ahead with that and then plan for the workshop, say in March or April of next year.
Mm-hmm.
So do you want to say why you thought this would undercut the workshop?
Well, I don't know. It depends. Everything depends which force, which power do we have to make the ball rolling. You understand what I mean? Because
But my thought is if we can get some pretty high-level people to speak, maybe get a couple of astronauts and Bob Zubrin and also I think Jerry Stone could make a pretty good presentation on his approach. So and here we have in the middle of the night, Palit, thanks for what time is it for you right now?
It's around 12:30 in the morning, I should say.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not so bad.
It's technically night, but yeah.
So you
Hello.
recall Henk's comment at the last meeting that we need younger people involved. And Palit heads an organization of about 100 people around the world, all of whom are younger people. And anyway, his organization, which is Life to and from Earth.
Life to and Beyond Foundation, to be more specific.
Okay, go ahead and say the name.
Sure. Hello, everyone. I am Sibsankar Palit from India. I, along
Namaste.
with... yeah,
Namaste.
namaste. I, along with one more guy who is currently the assistant professor at Chandigarh University in pharmaceutical sciences. My expertise is in the field of chemistry. So we both have co-founded 2.5 years before an organization named Life to and Beyond, and now it's got the status of foundation as well. So we work in the fields of astrobiology, space life science, and space social studies, and some parts of space education and outreach as well. So at our own humble levels, we are trying to sensitize people about these subjects, as well as you can say doing research, as well as in various aspects of space law to even some aspects of Venus and habitability and space pharmacovigilance and so on. All in all, to our strict policy is to be led by the youth, for the youth, as well as guided by the experts. So that's in short about Life to and Beyond Foundation.
Why don't you quickly note Theus's organization that you were...
yes, absolutely. Yes. So Dr. Thais, whom I hope we all know, has been involved with space medicine and physiology for a long time and has been contributing to the field quite significantly. She has an organization named Innova Space, registered out of UK. And they especially work in these fields of space physiology, space pharmacy, and medicine, and some of its applications, more on capacity building and also networking among different groups of people globally. And I have been involved with Dr. Thais for the last 3 years, and I'm also working with her on a youth group at Innova Space that tries to bring together young people globally and connect them, and through events, or let's say through networking platform, namely the Space Crew Working Group. So that's in short about you can say Dr. Thais and her organization Innova Space.
So that's Dr. Thais Ruzamano. Anyway, I think both organizations could be a part of this enterprise, particularly on the life support systems, the health of astronauts and people living in space, so on. So welcome, and I trying to figure out why we don't have some of the other people. I think we only have Henk's AO note taking. I don't think we actually have Henk online.
Yeah, Henk wrote to me, not Henk, but his assistant, Lassine Hurst, wrote to me that Henk will not be able to attend our meeting today. Maybe he can join later if we will still be working in after 1 hour or so. But he was not. He had a conflict and he cannot attend from the beginning.
Well,
the same also Madhu Tangavello wrote saying that he couldn't attend today. So yeah.
Well, and we need Gary. So here's my suggestion. I think we should proceed with the December 2nd event, and that what we need to do is get additional names of people, and maybe Sibsankar, you can help sending us additional names of people that we have this questionnaire that we want to send out to people, trying to get their level of interest and so on. And
so let me just report about the progress that we had, because we have a website, by the way.
Yes,
so I can show you. But nothing has been done on it. Only installed the. So let me share. So as you see, is just a very initial status. So the name of the domain is livinginspace.org. Because yes, I think also, yeah, I wanted to talk about that. The name of this initiative, it should be Living in Space, because it's more self-explicating what we mean. We are not talking about life in space in terms of extraterrestrial life and things like that, but we are talking about humans living in space. Therefore, I think the name of the initiative should be Living.
And I think that was agreed, and that's in the minutes of the last meeting, and I agree, and Jim, I know, agrees. So yes,
that's fine. However, so this is the website. Gary purchased the domain name, and I have created the website on the metanet.ch platform. That's where SI has all of our websites. So we are sure we use this provider since several years, and it is safe and reliable.
So exactly what is the domain name?
This one, livinginspace.org, with the hyphens.
Yeah, with a hyphen, in other words, living-in-space.org.
Yes.
.org.
Yes,
Okay,
that's it in the chat.
right.
By the way, so I am ready to make a user, an administrator user for a developer, because definitely I cannot develop this this website. I have already too many duties and too many websites to manage. And also, I think it is better that some developer with good skills, graphic skills, and so on will take this.
Well, let's just ask Palit. Is this something you could help if there's only a fairly, I think this basically would be to advertise the events that we have. And you could turn it.
I can, in specific, I can help out with the graphics for sure.
Right.
But then I'm not sure, like, what are the exact requirements? Like, is it just is handling the graphics, or let's say inputting the text and the graphics onto the website as we finalize on the details of the event, or something else? Like, for a
I think that's
developer,
it for, I think that's it for the start. And
Okay.
later on, you could maybe turn it over to somebody else. But I think it's pretty rudimentary at this point that just to probably would develop a poster for the event. And there would not be a whole lot of updating and what have you. Now, by the time we're planning on a conference in March or so on, that may change. But for just to get us started, if there's a way for you to have access as a webmaster, I think that would be a good way for us to proceed.
I have already created 2 users with administrator privileges, one for you, for Joy, for you, Joseph Pelton, and one for Gary Barnhard. By the way,
Right.
so
But in other words, what I'm suggesting is to turn mine over to Sibsankar Palit because he is
do
really
what you think is better. Do what you think is better.
Right.
If we will have a web designer, it will be fantastic because we can give him contents. And okay, on the website, I have installed WordPress. That is the most common CMS that everybody know it. And so the site is ready to be developed. There are already a few basic plugins, but the web designer will decide himself which plugins to install for the best.
So could you send that authorization then to Sibsankar Palit?
Yes, please send it to me. Just the email.
Right.
Email the person, and I will create a user.
Right.
Sure. I will just write my email in the chat itself. Just a second.
Yes, yes, please.
Okay. I think we can be fairly short today. In other words, what I need to do is to talk to people, including Palit actually tends to use that for conversations to get names and emails from him and from Madhu, and also ask like Thomas whether he has further suggestions so that we can get a list of at least 100 names to send out the questionnaire. But continue on the idea of recruiting some pretty high profile people to be speakers for the December 2nd event.
Okay, the website was the first thing I wanted to say about advancement. The other thing is this that now I will share again. I have created a shared spreadsheet. I think you can see it here.
Yeah.
So
Right.
yeah, here is the list of participants so far.
Right. And can you insert Dennis's better email in that list?
Yes, sure. I think by the way, Dinis is here, I think.
Oh, good.
Right?
I think he's in the list. You don't mean online. Yes.
I saw him, but now I don't see him anymore. Why? Let me check participants. No.
Starts with an F,
So
right?
he joined it, but then he went outside. We have, by the way, we also have another guy from Portugal. Is Valerio Ribeiro.
Ah, that's the one I thought that maybe they're related because it's exactly the same name.
Because they have the family name. Yeah, the same family name.
So I thought that was him just from his family name.
Dinis is not here now. Don't know why. However, yes,
This is a good start, but we need to you know
okay,
add
I also put
number 60 names. So Palit, how many names can you share with us that you think would be interested in this?
You mean like of individuals or organizations?
Well, both, but I was thinking individuals, but if there's other organizations as well.
For organizations, I can obviously we can say share 5 to 7 maybe involved with living in outer space activities and all, mainly space
Right.
medicine, space architecture, and so on. But then for individuals, I think when the timing and their availability is going to matter. We need to speak to them, like if they would be interested in joining. So, or else I can always share their names. We need to contact them about this event.
Right. So, in other words, what we have is a questionnaire asking, are they interested in this topic? Would they like to participate or present a paper and so on? And so we want to get a list of at least 100 names or so to send out that questionnaire to, and do that as quickly as we can get a list of that size. So do you have a list that's maybe in alphabetical order or what have you? Can you just send the entire list?
I do have lists, means like a couple of lists of people, those like whom we hosted previously at our events. And to combine it, maybe I would just request 1 or 2 weeks of time from your end, and I can send it over. It shouldn't be a problem, like with their email and their names and designation.
Right. So,
so Dinis is here, however, he joined it again.
Okay, good.
Hello, Dinis.
Hello, hi. I had a little bit of trouble.
Hi. Listen, is the gmail.com, is your gmail.com your best address where for sure you receive all of our messages?
Yes, the Gmail is, I have it also on my mobile, and I get it more easily, yes.
Okay, fine.
So is Valero Roberto related to you, or is that someone else entirely?
Sorry?
On the SRI list, there is another email.
Valerio Ribeiro. Well, Ribeiro is like Smith. It's an extremely common name in
Okay. All right. So
No,
I
but
just thought it
no,
was your email, but anyway, finally you got the message anyway, so that's good.
I'm sorry, but Valerio Ribeiro doesn't come from the SRI list. I don't know who is. I thought it was your contact.
No. That's can you zoom in a little bit so I can see better at av dot pt. That's the Portuguese address, indeed. Yeah. Yeah. The plus maybe.
Anyway, I thought that was you. Was the
No, that's definitely not me. No, it's someone else.
okay, great.
Okay.
Well, anyway, here's where we've gotten to that we have a website now, and Sibsankar Palit, who is in India and heads a organization of young people, all interested in living in space and doing work in astrobiology and so on, is joining this effort, and he's going to send us a name of young people and so on. And he's also going to help us with regard to being the initial webmaster for the website and developing some graphics and helping us maybe with a poster for the December 2nd Zoom event. And that's only initial commitment because he has a lot of things that he's doing. So this is not a long-term commitment, but at least it will get us started and what's needed for the short term. The other thing is that we're going to try to build up our list. And if you could possibly send us maybe 20 names, people maybe from Europe and so on, we'll try to get a list of over 100 names to send out to just see degree of interest in this subject of a workshop and online program. And another thing is that we are going to try to start getting suggested names of well-known people who could present at the December 2nd event. And we have in mind maybe a couple of astronauts. I know at least two or three that I could ask. And we were thinking about Zubrin. He always has interesting ideas. And we're also thinking of Roger Stone, who is sort of kind of, if you will, Gerard O'Neill of current times, and talking about a zero project that would build on O'Neill's ideas. But again, if you have thoughts of somebody of some note that people would say, yes, hey, this is really interested and I really want to participate, can get some good names.
Okay,
but I'm not sure we can go too much further today than that because of we don't have Gary Barnhard and we don't really have Henk with us, just as note taking.
So I'll try to come up with a list of 20 names then.
Good. More if you like.
Well, no, for sure. I was wondering. You may remember the Euro Moon 2000 project in Europe.
Yes, and do you know someone who was key in doing that?
Wubo Ockels, he's no longer with us. However,
he died.
of course,
he on my academic committee for the International Space University. A really great man.
But the concurrent design facility at ESTEC was organized by the people that were part of the Euromoon 2000. They were trying to modernize European Space Agency.
Right.
And so from that lobby around the concurrent design facility, I'm sure I'll try to get some key people from there. Also, in terms of artists, There is an artist from Germany. He's a movie director. He was awarded a medal from the Portuguese president. And he's been doing some science fiction movies, some of them in Portugal. Okay. And he's well known for that movie Paris, Texas. His name is Wim Wenders. For a while, he was president of the European Film Institute. I've had some conversations with him.
You're saying that you are in contact with Wim Wenders.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
Well, I think
Well,
both-
he's he one of the movies he filmed in Lisbon, partially in Lisbon.
I know that movie is
The
wonderful.
1991 Until the End of the World.
Beautiful.
In the end, the Claire, the character, she's in the International Space Station. Okay.
so both of those ideas sound great.
Okay.
So if you could follow up on both
Thank-
of those.
Yeah, I'll do my best to try to.
And again, the thought is that this would be on December 2nd, which is a Saturday, and that we need to figure out a time that works for the best audience. And I'm thinking maybe like late afternoon in Europe and earlier in the US might be the time frame, but we need some thought to what would be the best time frame for this and what is the number of hours. In the questionnaire, we suggest it could be a 2-hour event or a 4-hour event. And so give some thought to what you think would be a good time that would get the West Coast.
His last name is Wenders with a W. Sorry. Okay, the best time. Okay, we'll keep.
Right. So I'm not sure we can go too much further today, other than to try to schedule another session, maybe like a week from today. What do you think, John?
Wim Wenders.
Wenders, it's with a W, the second name.
And maybe Wim is with the one only.
No, it's yeah, he has an interesting autograph. It's like a bird or something. It's a huge W. Anyways, yes, yeah, because of he was able to do some interesting things, and he has some pull. And this whole thing would have to do with European film industry as a whole.
Sorry, one more question before I forget. Can you also have contact with Badredeus?
Oh yes,
Beautiful soundtrack of that movie in Lisbon.
Yeah, it's perfectly possible to get them. Actually, the lead singer, she started a solo career, but I have contact directly with her. Then there's a younger singer that replaced her.
Dulce Pontes.
Yes, no, that's a different one.
That's another one.
Dulce Pontes is the one that sings Mar Cruel, that's been in some movies and all that. It's about the like everything going down the drain and in the ocean. No, but but I'll try to get some other people as well.
So do we agree that a week from today, that would be, let's see.
Okay, listen, I just want to give you the link to this dashboard, a shared dashboard, where we have the participants. This will be the big database, no? That where we put together 100 names or more. Okay.
Well, I'm not sure how this will work. We may have several databases. In other words, I think Sib says he's going to put together a list, And I'm not sure whether we can integrate that or not, but maybe we'll just have two lists that we will add to your database now, what Madhu sends. But I think that the simplest solution may be to have this list and then Sib's list rather than trying to integrate them, because it took me quite a while to integrate what we've got.
I think we should integrate everything.
Well, if
Then
we
we
can
also have another
find a
page.
way to do it automatically, it would be great. But one at a time, it takes a good deal of time.
Another page is the steering committee. That is
Right.
the committee, right? Then the celebrities and the action items. Okay.
Right.
So this is very important not to lose track of the action
Right.
item.
Right. I'll do a little minutes, but this is a very good good list.
Yes, minutes are
Right.
are key. We have to
Right.
make minutes, of course.
Right.
Okay, what else?
But, well, I would hope that we can get this list done and send out the questionnaire or in 2 weeks' time, because 2nd of December seems a long ways away right now. But I think
it's
we
here.
need to go in parallel to line up speakers who will speak and figure out a time period on that Saturday the 2nd, so that we might even have up to a 4-hour session of some really key people, because some of the people might be astronauts talking about living in space and their experience. Other people who are from the if you will, the astrobiology part of the world, talking about what breakthroughs and capabilities we need. So anyway, we have a number of things to try to get agreement on and move ahead. But anyway, my suggestion is that we meet on Thursday, the 5th of September at the same time.
The 5th of September.
Right.
Okay.
Let me check
At the same time.
my calendar. I'm not sure the 5th of September would be
Okay.
good.
Before we, are
Yeah.
you about to end this meeting or?
Not quite, but we'll just confirm this and come back to you, Jim.
Okay.
So
does that work for you?
Yes, the 5th
Okay.
of the 5th of September it works for me.
At 3 p.m. Jim, can that work for you? And what did you want to say?
Yeah. Well, thank everybody for everything they're doing. It's really amazing. I think we're really making a difference here. I did contact the East-West Center because we were talking about
Right.
staging a workshop in Hawaii. And I spoke with Kathy Hurino, who's the acting manager for the Eman Conference Center at the East-West Center. And she asked me to fill out the center application for use, to check the eligibility of ACES, to license use of East-West Center facilities, as well as to check the availability of the center for our workshop. And she also sent me an Eman rate card listing the fees that will be charged. So I'm going to follow up on that, and I'll keep you posted.
Okay. Thing is, I think the Zoom event, we won't need the facilities. So we're talking about March or April.
Yeah, next year.
So right now, it's just to find out general availabilities and what the costs might be, and also whether there's anybody in Australia, sorry, anybody in Hawaii who might help us support that event. I'm not sure.
I just have to put a warning that now one meeting per week is okay in the first stage, but
Right.
I cannot assure that we can go ahead with one meeting per week.
Right. Well, I agree. This is to get things rolling, and I think you've also indicated that we may need to have what you call in addition to the steering committee, a kind of a operating committee of just a few people who can make things happen. So we need to figure that out because everybody has limited time availability. But in general, the idea is to try to have a 2 to 4 hour event on December 2nd with some notable, interesting people to have a workshop event in Hawaii on April, March, April timeframe.
Okay, about Hawaii, at University of Texas in Austin, there's a teacher, Moraba, that he was originally from Hawaii, and he's very vocal in environmental issues.
Right.
And he's younger, and so addressing the issue that was brought up on the previous meeting about involving younger people. So I see Palit is smiling there, as a matter of fact. And I just wanted to ask you guys.
He's a friend of mine, so I know him well, and he is an excellent speaker. His main thrust, of course, is actually on orbital space debris, which actually, if you're talking about concept of a actual colony in Earth orbit, the space debris issue, of course, is pretty germane. But he has other areas of interest that he could talk about. But he's a very compelling speaker.
Yeah, one thing that I shared with him already on Facebook. It has to do with the industrial lobby of the construction industry. I remember a long time ago, the first poster of ISU, the Japanese Shimizu construction company. They had a big logo on the lower right-hand corner of the poster. And they were instrumental in doing things. And in France, there is an industrial group, very advanced and forward-thinking, that they're promoting the design for disassembly.
Right.
And so as to revolutionize, not with 3D printing, but revolutionize the construction industry by disassembly buildings instead of tearing them down, demolishing them. Right. And I think that would be a fresh way of because this also brings me to my pet project in a way, because also having to do with volunteers. Tomlinson, last I heard, he was trying to get volunteers for a global movement to save the International Space Station. You guys probably noticed that. Are you aware of that?
Yes. Okay. The thing is, a good friend of mine is Michael Potter, who made the movie Orphans of Apollo. And so it's kind of interesting, the idea of whether history could repeat itself and the issue. And of course, NASA was the one who basically forced that effort to be killed.
Yeah, there's all kinds. And then, of course, nowadays there's the vested interests of the commercial space stations that don't want to see ISS competing with them. It would be good. I mean, if I were the owner of a private space station company, I would look at ISS perhaps differently, maybe.
Right. Well,
but in any case, in any way, I'm just saying that perhaps to bring out, more activism and younger people, I don't know. I haven't been in touch with Tomlinson lately, but if you guys can double check what he's doing, perhaps that could be a thought-provoking topic to
Right.
be included.
Everyone can see this.
Mhm.
I did this book
Yeah.
last year on the private
Mhm.
space stations and so on. And of course,
Mhm.
NASA really would find themselves in a difficult situation if uh, the ISS continued and then they had the private space station effort in competition.
Yes, well, the things can be it can be synergistic. There's ways. If there's a will, there's a way. In a way, I guess. But either way, the thing is, European Space Agency is looking more and more and more and more into circular economy, and Europe wants to be come up with new ideas to try to match up with powerful SpaceX and. It's like try to keep in the race somehow with some other contribution that's at least more original. Either way, there is a small lobby inside European Space Agency that is absolutely in favor of recycling ISS.
Right.
Okay.
I've
But
gone
they're
down.
very meticulous. They have government jobs. They don't want to go too far and have be reprimanded and all that. But it's perfectly understandable. But nevertheless, I think Tomlinson might be someone that
Right.
could at least talk
Right.
about his efforts at least.
Right.
I have put in the chat that I had a message from Gary. Say I have a lunar space innovation consortium workshop during this time frame. I have reached out to NSS and MBA management concerning moving from discussion to declared partners. Nothing conclusive to report yet. So this is
All right.
contribute to
Maybe
this.
you could write back a quick note to whether the 5th of September works for him at 3, or I mean 3 Eastern
Yeah.
time.
Okay, then maybe tomorrow Joe will circulate a minute of
Right.
this meeting.
Right.
And I also added an action item to create a Google group of the steering committee.
Right.
So we can avoid putting all the addresses that sometimes we forgot one and so
Right.
on. So we have a Google group.
Right.
And yeah, I will do it tomorrow.
All right.
What else?
Well, I think that's as far as we can go today. But we can also, of course, be in communications by email. But I think Dinis has a lot of really good
Yeah,
ideas.
I just wanted to suggest someone in particular,
Okay.
rather than very well-known people that are relatively mainstream. I was thinking about key people, and one person in particular that I don't know how to find that person. But if you remember, on Skylab, there was some use of Gemini components. One of the was some modifications, but one of the doors of the Gemini capsules was actually used to create some kind of airlock or something, and it's still perfectly visible, the Gemini window on Skylab. Okay, and that's everywhere in the world. People have been toying around and trying to do this. In the Netherlands, people from Dutch Space, they built a design for a spacecraft to be used with the ring on Ariane 5 instead of destroying it. They added solar panels to it, and they had space science missions designed using the piece of trash from the upper or the where the main satellite goes. There's that sort of like a cone, that structure. They had all kinds of designs to reuse that, and instead of throwing it away. And so it's a global and it's been around.
Right.
And maybe now it's finally with the Falcon 9 landing and having all the the way it looks, all like an old oil tanker or something covered with soot. Maybe it's time for those ideas to develop maybe a little bit more, I guess.
you know, DARPA has spent quite a bit of money in this area and so on. And some people think, you know, space debris is actually a whole lot of resources to be recycled and reused.
Mhm.
So interesting ideas.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's try to meet again on the 5th and stay in contact, particularly with ideas on speakers for December 2nd and names of people that we want to do the surveys, questionnaires, and then finally, Palit, have you gotten the information so that you could be able to do some work on the website?
I think so. I should have, I should receive it on my mail. I'll just check it.
So have you sent that, Adriana?
Yes, I have the email address of Sibsankar. I will make a user, an administrator user for you, so you can access the WordPress dashboard of the website.
Sure. Also, I have one particular question. Like for the December online event, do you all plan to just keep presentations, or do you want to like keep it in different formats of sessions? Like alongside presentations, if you want to do some interviews, maybe to keep it both sided, as well as maybe a panel discussion, because it's going to be an online event. So if we have diversity of formats, it will keep the audience more engaging.
Right.
That would be my thought.
Well, if we have a 4 hours symposium, let's say, we may have several presentations, 10 minutes each, and maybe a round table, 1 hour round table with all the panelists discussing together. That could be a format, but it would be interesting before December 2 to have some interviews with some keynote speakers.
Right.
Like as Joe was mentioning about the astronauts, maybe holding interviews with some of them would be best, so that we can take up some questions, and also they can share their experience, or let's say their journey or something like that.
Oh, excellent. And also we will use the YouTube Space Renaissance channel for all of these live streaming and the interviews and so on. We can also record the video and then put it on YouTube, even though it's not live. But December 2, it will be live streamed. It will be, yeah.
And the point is, if we have a number of sponsors, we can use all of those outlets for these interviews or what have you. So ACES Worldwide has its capabilities, SRI has its capabilities. Palit, you have your organization, and so on. So
yes, we can organize some conversation when we want. I think I can make a conversation with Frank White, for instance, myself, Frank White. I can do the same with Rick Tomlinson. I can do the same with Bob Zabrin. So we can prepare several of these things, and not very long conversation. Let me say half an hour each, and to put them on YouTube, and all of this will promote the December 2 workshop. Yeah, this could be also a good thing to do.
And one last question I have is that for the online event, given we are trying to keep it on living in space or sustainable living in outer space and so on. So for the physical event, obviously it will be more from America or from Europe. For the online event, do you see a scope to keep it more global in the sense, let's say other players from across the globe, those who are involved in human space flight?
In fact, it could be useful to make 2 sessions, one for Europe and America, and another one for Asia and Pacific.
Mhm.
That yeah, it's complicated because it means that somebody should stay waked up
The
for
time zones, yeah.
4 hours, you know.
Maybe we can keep it in this way, like the first part will be Asia Pacific, given the time zone works in that way, and then the later part like can be of America and like Europe, because that's the way the time zone works, right? So I do have like certain resource person in my connection whom we hosted, like from Russia as well as from China as well, and even from India, because both means all these three countries are involved with spaceflight, with India also included pretty recently. So we can host it, like at least for the online one, right? If not for the physical.
And we are doing 4 UN sessions,
Mhm.
19th through the 23rd, for the UN General Assembly Science Summit. And in a few cases, we've had people who take video presentations. So that's another option that we could have speakers
Yeah, of
do.
Right.
course.
So all of these things are options we could and should consider.
Uh,
Of course, on the YouTube, the 4 hours will remain on YouTube.
Right.
So we can also, let me say, repropose the whole thing the day after, as it was recorded. We can repropose it for the Asian Pacific with the proper advertising.
Right. But
Mhm.
we still would want some actors from the Asia Pacific in that process. And again, that could be just a tape video, or we can, of course,
Um,
have people stay up late. I have had friends from
may I?
Australia and what have you stay up to very late hours, as Sibsankar is doing tonight, because it now is probably close to 1:30. So
Where are you? Are you in India or
Yeah,
elsewhere?
yeah, I'm in India. I'm in India. Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to ask you guys, what do you think about an idea? You remember Yuri's night, the
yes,
event, right? Okay,
yes,
so um, what about having some kind of event that goes around the planet? That would be more neutral. It would cover the whole planet and the time zones. And we could have not so long and, well, sorry to say, but tedious. But if it's very long, people say, oh, this is so nice. Okay, I'm going to get a beer now. And it's not the same to
I'm
pay
on a
attention for
Zoom
that
call,
long.
but I'll call you right back.
Okay, so to
About
keep
10
a
minutes.
focus for a long time, it's harder, and perhaps something that would go around the planet would be similar vaguely to Yuri's night. That would
Right.
might be interesting. And finally, about the language of the future, there's this dialect which is used in the International Space Station. They call it Runglish, right? It's a mixture, a mix between Russian and English, which is there was Apollo Soyuz in 75, 2025.
It's very Italian.
Uh, mm, well, yeah, but there's all kinds of
Portuguese.
mm,
Portuguese também.
no, but there could be a Portuñol. The Portuguese Space Agency is leading the coalition
Italian.
between the Spanish and the South America, Brazil, all
Yeah.
the countries that use Portuguese and Spanish. They're cooperating now in space projects. There might even be stuff with Portuñol, like saying we're not going to use anybody else's language. We speak Portuñol or Spanish or whatever. But Portuñol, and it's a mix between Portuguese and Spanish. And this Runglish, if you guys really take a closer look at Runglish, it was a new dialect born in ISS, necessary for operational security.
Right.
Regardless of different views people might have about very, very different views. But that's so I think the language could actually be a quite interesting way of approaching maybe.
I wonder what they will speak on the moon, maybe.
I'm sure Runglish. Yes, because you have to understand the phonetics. It's very dangerous. No, don't touch that. No, it's really the
Okay.
Moonish.
for safety.
All right.
If you don't
Well-
understand what the other guy is saying, it's quite dangerous.
So we have Gary. Gary joined in the last 5.
Hello,
Hello, Gary.
Hi, Gary.
How is?
greetings all. Sorry,
Wait.
for, I strangely enough, I have a day job.
Well, we're almost finished, but very quickly,
Yeah.
we have decided to go ahead with the December 2nd event. We have a website and our new young person from India who has a worldwide organization interested in living in space is going to be our temporary webmaster for that website.
Wonderful.
Trying to develop a list of over 100 names and try to get them meshed together for the questionnaire. We have a number of suggestions of speakers, high-level speakers, and that if you could give us 10 or 20 names for the list for the survey and for promotion, and also names of noted speakers who could participate for the event on December 2nd. That's sort of how
I'm
far.
happy to take that. I'm happy to take that action, Joe.
So that's pretty much where we did. I will be circulating a minutes. There's also Adriano has made kind of a list of things that can you send that to me, Adriano? I'm not sure I've got that captured in my chat. So
What do you mean? The action items?
yeah, the action items. Can you just send
It is
them?
in the shared. It is in the shared Google Drive. So you have it in the chat here.
Okay, let
is
me.
The LIS shared dashboard. However, I will send you all the materials at the end at the end of the meeting. So
Okay. Well, I think we're at the end of the meeting unless Gary has things to add. I would just note that Jim and I will be talking to people at the East-West Center to see about availabilities for a workshop in the March, April 2025 timeframe. And that's pretty much it. Adriana,
All right.
further?
no, for me it's okay.
All right. And Dinis has
right.
some excellent ideas he's going to be following up on. Okay, thanks all. And we are planning to meet on 3 o'clock on this September 5th. Does that work for you, Gary?
I think so. Yep.
All right.
Great.
Perfect. Thanks all.
Ad Astra.
Take care.
Aloha.
Aloha.